It will be a busy weekend on the campaign trail. Both Trump and Biden are also now preparing for next month's debate. Here with us now is Director of Strategic Communications at the Republican National Committee, Tommy Pigott. Tommy, good morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. I want to pick up where I left off with Sarakshi. Let's start with the black vote. Is this a new opportunity for Republicans this election cycle?
Well, I think what Democrats miss about voters is having a message of a prosperous economy, a safer country, and a secure border is something all Americans support. And that's why we're seeing President Trump poll with constituencies that traditionally vote Democrat at records unseen or unheard of for Republicans in modern times. That has to be sending panic to Joe Biden. That's why we're seeing Joe Biden, again, try to pander to these constituencies, but he has no message. He has no message for these communities because all he's done with his policies is open the border and lead to rising prices. And that's a message that no one supports.
Trump campaigned in Minnesota on Friday. We were talking about this earlier in the show. Our viewers should know a Republican presidential nominee has not won the state of Minnesota in 50 years. What do you think, or what does the campaign think could change this time around when it comes to that state and the former president?
Well, if you look at the polling, right now, President Trump is polling extremely well in Minnesota, very competitively. And again, like I said, the message that President Trump has is a message that's supported across the board by voters. Bidenflation, Bidenomics has so hurt Americans that Americans are looking for a solution. And the only one with a solution is President Trump. Joe Biden's only solution is to double down on the exact same policies that have hurt these communities so dramatically. So that's what we're seeing in states across the country, not just in Minnesota, but in states like New Jersey as well. We're seeing President Trump poll at levels that really are unheard of, like I said, for a Republican in modern times, polling incredibly competitively. And so we're playing offense across the country because, like I said, our message is a message that Americans support.
You know this as well as I do, and we've had a lot of people from Trump's campaign, from, for his former administration. We know he likes to go off the script sometimes. He likes to go off teleprompter. Trump is calling for Biden to get a drug test before the debate. I want to play that for our viewers, and I'll talk to you right after.
I just want to debate this guy, but, and I'm going to demand a drug test, too, by the way. I am. No, I really am. I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite. I said, is that Joe up there? A beautiful robe? And by the end of the evening, he's like, well, it was exhausted, right? No, we're going to demand a drug test.
I have to ask you, what is the strategy here by saying something like that?
Well, I think we believe in transparency. Joe Biden's been anything but transparent. If you look at the polling again, Americans have real concerns about Biden's fitness for office. And that's not just Republicans saying that. That's a majority of Democrats who have serious concerns about Biden's fitness for office. Transparency should be a good thing. And again, like President Trump said in that clip, anytime, anywhere with debates, it took Biden weeks to accept that challenge. And now Biden is refusing additional debates. He's afraid of more debates, which I think should be a warning sign for all Americans. Why is Biden so terrified of additional debates? I think is an important question that Biden needs to answer.
Do you think Trump will take a drug test as well?
Well, again, transparency is the guiding principle here, and it's Democrats who are concerned about Biden's mental fitness, as all Americans are, and Biden's physical fitness for office as well. Transparency should be the guiding principle here. And again, these concerns wouldn't exist if Biden didn't avoid interviews, avoid press conferences, stage every single event, get note cards before his own events. The Biden campaign could put these concerns to bed by putting them out there more. The fact that they don't, the fact that they stage everything as much as possible, should be a signal that the Biden campaign themselves shares the same concerns that, again, are shared by Democrats and Americans across the board about his fitness for office.
Let's stay on the subject of debates. RFK Jr. is on the Texas ballot. That's a huge one. Do you think we'll see him on the debate stage come next month?
We might. We'll see if he meets the qualifications. But I think if anyone should be concerned about that, I think it's Joe Biden, because RFK Jr. and Joe Biden share the same radical positions when it comes to attacking American energy, when it comes to undermining our security, when it comes to the open border. RFK Jr. and Joe Biden are both on the farthest left fringes of their party. So if anyone should be concerned about that, it should be Joe Biden, because RFK Jr. being on the ballot will take votes from Joe Biden from the left. So that's who should be concerned about that. And it's another sign of Joe Biden's weakness, the fact that we're seeing the left and the Democrat Party look to RFK Jr. and his radical left policies.
Let's move on to South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. Is she still a possible VP contender in your eyes?
Look, we're going to take President Trump's lead on this. President Trump hasn't really given any signal about who he's going to choose. The great thing about being a Republican is that our policies work, and we have great success stories across the country.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.